Now live from Boston for an Eastern Conference contest with the Celtics. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, 2K Sports welcoming you to NBA basketball. Along with Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and Hall of Famer David Aldridge, Kevin Harlan. Boy, do we have a treat for you folks. The big ticket is here. And we've got time for a quick pregame report. With that being said, let's head to the sideline and our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. DA?
Thank you.
All right, David. Kevin, you think about having that killer instinct, that killer mentality. You go against a Kobe Bryant, he would tear your heart out, as you would his.
And you have to understand that we all recognize that about each other. Tim Duncan would be the same. Rasheed Wallace would be the same. I would think Allen Iverson would do the same. Vince Carter would do the same. These are guys who, Tracy McGrady, Charles Billups, these are all guys who kill Shaquille O'Neal. These are all guys who don't care. And that's how it should be. That's
you can't be great unless you are. Can you?
I think you have to possess that killer instinct.
Jordan.
And listen, Michael Jordan was one of the darkest. Seriously, Jordan could go into a place where he could go repetitive and he could go on talking to you. And the more he talked, I thought the better he got. And I thought the madder he got, the better he got. And the more upset and the more you didn't trap him, the more he was ticked off that you wasn't. Bro, there's a whole matrix to it. Like, seriously, this game is levels to it. And the ones that understand that have been in that understand what I'm talking about.
There's not a great player that hasn't been.
No, because they understand that moment. When you got there, when you in that moment, you're just riding the wave. You're just going to ride it. Great ones know what I'm talking about.
So a look at our starters for the Knicks. Ingram is out there with Porzingis. Then there's the captain. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Cousins in at the 5 down low.
Yeah, and the long reach of Cousins really enables him to hammer home some skyscraping jam.
Irving passes to Justice. The Celtics working the ball around now. Irving, good. Irving's got his second basket of the night.
Heating up early on. This is exactly how he wanted to start the night.
You're right. I mean, he's found his rhythm early. The defense has got to do a better job guarding him from this point on.
The kick outside to Butler. Ingram against Brown. 6 to shoot. Ingram dishes to Cousins. He trains it as the shot clock ticks down. Cousins has got his second basket of the game.
If he's not a sure thing in the paint, Cousins is pretty close.
Boston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Irving passes to Justice. To the paint. Irving can't hit.
The only way he doesn't finish is if the defense gets in his face. Nice job.
And Kevin, you were drafted back in 1995, straight out of high school. You ever wonder how your career might have been different had you played some college basketball?
When I look at college, those are people that are going to, if not prepare themselves for something else. I was doing the same thing at a rapid rate, doing it through college.
Very accelerated rate.
When people was getting in 4 years, I was probably getting in 6 months, if not 3 months, and had to understand and articulate it. Then I got to block out. I got to understand what all that is and how finance and economics work and how it affects me. And now I got to strategize for when I'm going to do certain business moves throughout this whole season. And be able to talk to an owner and talk and negotiate and go back and forth within a certain timeline. This is all stuff that you don't get in a book. This is all on the ground. You got to learn it, and you got to have a passion for it. You can't sit back and let somebody do your job for you. You got to know what it is. But you're ready to teach someone something is elite to me. So,
and it was a process, and you enjoyed the process, though, right? Because you were a sponge. You absorbed so much as from a person watching you go through all this.
I'm a student.
Yeah.
You know me. You've been knowing me since I was a kid. You saw my growth. You saw when I struggled. One thing about struggle, you always have a chance to do something about that. I like to think that in life you have a choice. It's what you do and how you do it. I've always wanted to be a person of quality. I've always wanted to be a person of class. You know that. And I'm a professional. And I was taught that you don't get to pick and choose when you're a professional. And I like to think that I've learned through my mistakes and I've applied the stuff that I've learned through my mistakes. Some of the things I'm teaching these young guys, some of the things I'm talking to these young guys about is just simple experiences and how I messed up. And if I could do it over, I would do it like this. And if I could talk to, my parents, and I have parents like your parents, I would sit down and I would say this. Relating to these young guys, understanding these young guys, understanding, period, says a lot for everything, but that's what I've learned through our offense.
Pass to Justice. Here's Adebayo. And the foul called on DeMarcus Cousins. That is his first foul of the game. Butler with the steal.
Defense is all about anticipation, and he had perfect anticipation on that pass and comes away with the steal. And their offense already in a flow, some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
This will be his third free throw shot of the game.
Gotta admire what he's been able to do at the free throw line this season. How about over 90%?
There is a certain skill and intensity every single night that Jimmy Butler brings to the table.
Brown the pass to Justice. And KG, as many points as you scored in your career, how much pride did you take in your defensive play?
You know, I like to think that it's respected. You know, I didn't play. I like to think that when I got to Boston, I made more of a added effort to play defense. You know, in Minnesota, I had such a responsibility on the offensive side that you don't ever save yourself. You don't save yourself in anything. But I would have to find ways of when I come out of the game. You know, immediate ice stuff, stuff that I could use to try to, get any type of rest. I know Flip was going to use me in 2 or 3 minute segments, so I would probably have 3 to 4 minutes of rest and then have to get right back out. But when I got to Boston, obviously, we had a deeper team, a better team, and Doc Rivers did a great job, I felt like, of listening to me. I was listening to my body, but more importantly, we have offensive scorers. I wanted to be more of the head of our defense. I wanted to be the one to be talking. Rondo and I had an immediate chemistry with that. It was something that it was natural between the two of us, and I think everybody else followed. Tibbs threw some schemes on top of some of the stuff that he was able to bring. Doc was open to some of the different ideas, scheme-wise, and the rest is history. The next thing you know, Cleveland in this region running out stuff. LeBron goes to Miami now. Miami's running out stuff. Right, next thing you know, Miami beats us with our stuff. It's evolution. It's evolution. It's evolution, man. If I sit here and go through it and you sit back and go and watch it, you're like, holy snap. Wow, it's the same look. They're bringing the guy over, post up. Yeah, so, shout to everybody, and that's innovating and bringing that defense, and shout to Tibbs, right.
Irving passes to Tatum, and slam dunk by Tatum.
Kyrie Irving doing work with the pass. That's pretty.
Here's Chapman, covered by Irving, and Tatum pulls it down.
His high percentage shot right at the rim, and he's wondering what happened.
Now, here is Irving. He's guarded by Chapman. Irving kicks to Brown. Can't tie it up as that one misses. The drive by Cousins, and a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here.
And Cousins lives at the line, just applies tremendous pressure on the defense.
This is his first trip to the line tonight. First free throw is good. And Doc Rivers, your coach with the Celtics, such a great leader, brought your team together. Talk about that.
He brought us the belief from Ubuntu and bringing all of us together, and that you give yourself for the greater of the group. And everybody bought into that. And when you hear about the Miami one, Pat Riley had all those guys give something to the pot and giving yourself to something. And when you think about what team is, all these great coaches, these great minds, these great philosophers, it all surrounds that whole little philosophy right there, giving yourself to be able to get something and gain something.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting. But a true philosophy of winning.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
Yeah, you can sense he wasn't happy with how things are going here. Probably looking to change it up a bit.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's a good call, Greg. They need a fresh, new approach here.
Boston making a switch here. Horford's checked in. Now we get a chance to check out the standings out east already. We are in December. Take a look at the Knicks. Things going their way so far in this season. Right now, they lead the pack up front in the first spot with the best record. And, of course, Boston just way behind.
And you know, for Boston, they've done a good job staying relevant this season. I mean, I was concerned they'd suffer a drop-off, but just give them credit. They've hung in here in this playoff race.
The resiliency has been crucial for this team. Anytime it looks like they may start to drag a little bit, they picked it back up and stayed in the hunt.
Chapman the pass to Butler. That one goes in. Butler's got 9.
Very difficult to break up the concentration for Jimmy Butler. This guy on the interior, he has a sense for how to score it.
Stolen. The pass to Chapman. And it's sent back by Irving. And they're able to recover to the left side wing. And he hits the triple. 3 points there on the shot from Chapman. Chapman's got his second bucket of the game to go. Celtics trail by 10. And the whistle blows on the backcourt violation. He went over and back.
And we get a chance to check out the numbers for Kyrie Irving. Putting up about 22 points per 6 assists and 2 rebounds. He has been at his most dynamic, no question about it, a real handful.
Let's make no mistake, one of the elite talents in the NBA and operating at the highest level right now.
And there's the call on Kyrie Irving. That's his first foul. Hardaway checked in for New York. Young comes in for Butler. Here's Chapman. What a tremendous game he played against Toronto. He kicks to Young. Outside Turner, 6 to shoot. And again, New York with the triple. And Kevin, you talk about your rivals at that big man position. Who comes to mind among guys you played against and have the most respect for?
I got a lot of respect for guys in our league. Shaq, Rasheed Wallace, Dice, Charles Barkley, Carmelo, you know, to name a few. Chris Webber, a ton of respect. But when it comes to the cream of the cream, you know, Rasheed Wallace and Tim Duncan always brought out another side of me. I would say Chris Webber too. You know, Chris Webber's my idol. And those guys brought out a better side of me. And I like to think that I dug deeper with those guys and playing up against those guys. If you want to see what you are in this league and all that stuff that you've been practicing and working on in the gym, those players, those moments are going to pull those times out of you. And that's what true essence are. And only the elite understand that. Only the elite understand the matrix. When things slow down and you really are dominating the game on both ends.
Different world.
Different world, different flow, different mindset, different type of character.
And the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they've got to talk about.
I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
Whoops, anticipated the pass. Turnover. And Turner throws it down.
And when you build a big lead like this, especially early, you have to guard against the letdown.
No, exactly right. You can't afford to get complacent, right? They have to stay hungry and humble if they want to keep this lead.
Irving passes to Atkins. To the inside. Here's Morris. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. The Celtics shooting their first free throws tonight. The first trip to the stripe in this one. The first free throw is good. Frank Ntilikina is checked in for the captain. Off the inbound. Justice the pass to Morris. Outside Tatum. Boston again missing.
I'll tell you, if he keeps missing shots, it's going to be a tough night to try to trim this lead.
Jaylen Brown out there with Morris. Then there's Jason Tatum. And it's Adebayo in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. That's the Boston 5. Morris kicks to Adebayo. Kevin, you think about the work that goes into being an elite player. Describe that. What did you try to accomplish?
What are you going to do in these positions right here? When they trap you, how are you going to get the ball out? When you're not trapped, when you're one-on-one, what are the moves you're working on down here? Okay, on the right block. Okay, what about the left block? What about the top of the key? You get an ISO top of the key, what are you going to do? 5 seconds, what are you going to do? So you have to invest in yourself. After you get done with that, that's probably 45 minutes to an hour. You go in, you shower, you get done with that, you take your behind home, you sit, you rest. You that. You obviously, as a person, you're living as a human being, your everyday life. But yeah, it's a lot.
Sounds exhausting.
It is, but it is a cycle that you are able to create for yourself. And once you're in it, and it turns over like an every day. You know, this is what you do every day. Sort of like a routine. And once you get that routine, it is what it is. And I was able to keep a routine for 21 years. Amazing. And then, you know what, Chuck?
21 years.
21 years, I added things onto my routine, but if you ask anybody to play with me, they see my routine. I did my routine every day. Never missed a day of not doing my routine.
Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, guys. The captain in the last game against the Raptors was phenomenal. He ended up with 47 points and was his usual self on the defensive side with a number of steals. The numbers in that game make me anxious to see what he can do tonight. Kevin?
Hey, David, thank you. Any chance he can match that guy's and that performance again here tonight?
I tell you what, I know he believes he can. His confidence right now is sky high, and he doesn't think there's anybody that can stop him.
Well, there might not be, because he's coming into this game thinking he can be just as dominant as he was the last time he took the floor.
He hits the second from the line.
And everyone knows when Cousins controls his emotions, he's one of the very best centers in the game.
Brown the pass to Morris. Picked his pocket.
And racing up the court, you have a number of options and a great decision there.
I love how he took the initiative, right? You took charge of the opportunity and made the right decision.
And that unleashed chaos replay presented by Under Armour. Cover Habit, giving us a chance to relive that exciting play. Outside Tatum. Goes up with a strike. Kevin, we know the big markets offer more opportunities than just basketball. Does that make it impossible for small market teams, you think, to compete?
I think that as long as you have dollars in the market, yes, you can be competitive. I think that your GMs have to actually put forth some work and put forth teams. You're going to find what groups of guys work together and then go out and try to foresee that. I think in a game where you're dealing with cash and you're dealing with being able to have ability to sign and trade players in this league, I think that you can make a competitive roster. There's no mishaps.
There's enough money around.
AFL movement is more than ever now. You know, players are not doing 5 to 6 year deals no more. Players are doing 2 year.
Yes.
So yeah, you can definitely make a competitive roster.
And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. Now we get a chance to view the NBA's best setup men. Well, you look at the captain, an uncommonly gifted passer, leading the league in assists.
It's hard to argue with his status as the best passer in the NBA right now. He just distributes the ball so well.
First free throw is good. Irving's checked in for the Celtics. And so he hits both. And so it's Irving with it, bringing it up for the Boston Celtics. After this one, they're off to Philadelphia to take on the 76ers. That'll be the first half of a 2-game trip. Brown the pass to Justice. And stolen by Butler. And even 3-on-3 break. A pass to Porzingis. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
Just leave it at the rim and let the big man do the rest. KP with a nice finish.
Boston's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. Brown kicks to Adebayo. And on the way from Irving for 3. Good on the triple. Irving's got 10.
You know, what you love about Kyrie is that he's always prepared to shoot when he is roaming in space.
Chapman the pass to Butler and taken away by Brown. Irving with a clean look. Hits the front of the rim and out.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in cracking this huge lead.
It's stolen by Brown. And here comes the break. Here's Justice. The shot is good. And so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4.
And how's that for a solo performance?
Well, you couldn't do it any better than that, Greg. Textbook execution on the break.
Chapman the pass to Cousins. And another turnover here by New York. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Celtics team.
And they swept the season series against this group last season. Pretty impressive stuff.
Boston's gotten into trouble with the 3-ball in the second quarter, only hitting 1 of 5 attempts. And KG, you've talked about the players who influenced you. It must help to have that inspiration from other great players.
So I look at trying to find
a compass, a roadmap.
Something. Chris Webber right away. As soon as I saw a high-school footage of him, I saw a tape of him and Big Dog playing each other in a dark gym in Chicago, and they were just dunking on each other. And it was this classic tape. No, this is a real story. And I resonated with Webber ever since. And, he didn't really shoot a lot of jumpers. He was through and powerful. And I mixed it, obviously took pieces of that. And they were able to, obviously put it to my own game. But he was my inspiration.
That's a great story.
And I see Webb knows that. I told him that when I first met Webb, I was starstruck. Him and Michael Jordan and Shaq a little bit, right? Because Shaq is like, holy, like, God. Shaq,
he's like that house.
You inside the house. Go home, look inside the house. It's like looking at Shaq, right? Shaq to Diesel, right? But seriously, I was starstruck, and I was like, holy snap. And then, he scored, and I had to really come out of that really fast. And after that, I think the very next year, I blocked the shot and said something. He was like, oh, we talking? Yeah. But since then, we've always had an understanding. We've always went in each other's neck, and we understood what it was. But, yeah, Chris Webber was a huge inspiration to my progression.
Love that story. Here's Porzingis. That one wide left.
Now, great look on that, just a little out of rhythm.
Yeah, he looked like he forced that a little bit. Just needs to take his time. Got to make these shots right now.
Irving finds Morris. Shot clock at 6. Porzingis with the block.
When you drive the lane, you have to know where Porzingis is, because with his reach, he can sneak up and send that shot away anytime.
Here's Irving. In it goes for the 5th time in 10 shots for him this game. So for New York, their last game, a win against the Raptors.
And once they established that flow offensively, really never got any resistance from the D.
I think, Greg, you can't expect to win with that kind of effort. The defense was nowhere to be found, and it cost them all night long.
And he makes that one. Tatum's got 4 points now in the quarter.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
Here's Chapman trying to end the drought, and it's Porzingis getting it to go.
Well, tracking down rebounds with ease. Kristaps Porzingis, outstanding mobility.
Boston's gotten into trouble with the 3-ball in the second quarter, only hitting 1 of 5 attempts. Bounce pass, Butler. And that drops in from beyond the arc. 3-pointer from Chapman. Chapman's got 10 points in the game. Boston shooting just 39% from the field, struggling to find that net. Pound kicks to Adebayo. And that's out of bounds. Boston will retain possession.
And now we get a moment to see the numbers for the captain. First in scoring, first in assists, and he's first in the league in steals per game. Just an incredibly aggressive and tenacious defender.
And his scoring abilities are just so far out of sight. Number 1 overall right now. No one's been able to slow him down or even come close. Another steal. KG, I want to give you a special thanks for joining us, helping us with the call tonight. You always have a seat at this table to broadcast any of our games.
Oh, man, thank you, man. I appreciate you letting me come through, man. It was an honor, man, seriously.
We'll do it again soon.
Let me know, man.
That's
Let me
KG.
know.
That's the great Kevin Garnett.
My dog.
And always a special occasion to have KG with us, Doris, a guy who really brings it every time we speak with him.
Well, his enthusiasm is contagious. This guy is a leader on and off the court. There's a vibrancy, a joy that he brings that was key to his success as a player and how fun as a broadcaster.
It's good. With that basket, he's now 5 for 9.
He just exudes a love of the game, guys. You can see it in everything he does. This guy lives and breathes the game.
Here's Irving, and denied. He sends it right off the glass. And he recovers it. The shot by Adebayo, no good.
Gets it to very close range, but there was no way the defense going to back off and give him that layup.
The Celtics shooting a cool 28% in the second quarter. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
They get it back. Here's Irving. That one's off. Still out of sync.
Well, I think the defense took that possession off. I'm pretty sure he won't miss next time.
Butler on the way. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Butler's got 5 points in the quarter.
Well, over the course of time, Jimmy Butler has so improved his range. Now more capable of stretching the defense. That's pretty.
And so it's the New York Knicks with a 34-point advantage heading into the break. Their defense has been active and effective. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, how would you evaluate your team's performance in the first half?
You know, I like the way we're playing tonight, but, you know, 1 or 2 untimely turnovers, these guys are going to convert quickly, so we have to play an aggressive but precise game.
Rick, thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, for that interview, and we'll see you back here after the break for third quarter basketball. Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. We are seeing a tremendous game from Jimmy Butler.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
You know, I think, Greg, they never settled for the first look. It was always about, let's get the best shot possible. Really good judgment on the offensive end.
And New York, looking at who they've got. We've got DeMarcus Cousins, the captain out there with Jimmy Butler. And there's Porzingis, and it's Ingram, and at the 3 spot. Doris, look in your crystal ball. 5 years from now, who do you think will be the 2-3 best players in the NBA?
Well, certainly some of the names. I won't say this is a definitive list, but as long as health holds, I'm going to give you 3 men who are going to be bad men in the NBA for a long time. Giannis Antetokounmpo, because the Greek freak is able at his size to handle it, take it off the window, and dominate action in transition. If he gets a consistent jump shot, forget about it. Ben Simmons, exactly the same thing. His passing ability is extraordinary. I think you'll see him get a low post move, and I think he'll get a jump shot, and he will be unguarded. And one of my absolute favorites is Mr. Joel Embiid. Give it to you inside, give it to you outside. Mr. Embiid can handle it. He can dominate with his defense. Those 3 men are going to be all-stars for a long, long time.
Let's go down to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Al Horford is a multiple all-star. And if you count his stats, you miss what he brings to the table. When you factor in his passing, his defense, his efficiency, he does all the things that help you win. Coach Brad Stevens said, Al Horford averaging 15 points a game for you is like other guys averaging 27. Devin?
The definition of a pro. Terrific guy. Thank you, D.A. Boston's gone 2 of 2 from long range in the third quarter so far. Now, here is Irving. He's tightly guarded, down low.
That's just great savvy. A pick-and-roll situation run perfectly by Kyrie Irving.
And that was an unleashed chaos moment indeed. What a spectacular play. Sponsored by Under Armour Hover Habit. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. These players have been all about defense lately. Here are the steal leaders in the NBA this month. Well, you look at the captain, always dangerous on the court. He leads the league.
Really been fantastic defensively this run for him. He's had more than his share of steals, and now he's looking to get more.
And the first one drops. Doris, you were the first female commentator to ever call a Knicks game on radio or television, and I imagine you remember that first broadcast very well.
I sure do, Kevin. It was against the Bucks. I filled in for the great Clyde Frazier, and the Knicks had just made it to the finals the year before. So it was exciting on a number of levels.
And one thing Rick Carlisle is known for is his accountability.
Right, and that extends to himself as much as it does the players who play for him. Listen, if this guy makes the wrong play call, he is going to make sure you know about that. And I think that's an approach you see from the top down in this organization.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
Well, there's no doubt this guy's on a hot streak right now. That's why he keeps getting the ball in this one. They're like, hey, we're going to feed the hot hand.
Good for basket number 6 from him in the contest. He's shooting 6 for 12.
And some guys just have a nose for scoring, and this one couldn't have been any easier.
Well, really good awareness by the scorer. You're seeing an opening in the defense and exploiting it beautifully.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
And it's Butler missing. For Boston, they've gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. Now, here is Irving. He's guarded by Chapman. Over in the corner, Brown. Just 5 to shoot. Out to the right wing. It's hauled in by Porzingis. And it's Porzingis with the ball. He'll bring it up for the Knicks. Next up in the docket, the Bucks following this one. That game will be a quick pit stop before hitting the road again. Offensive rebound. Cousins. And plenty of contact on the shot. So, 2 free throws coming up. And Boston called for the foul.
And Cousins is no joke down low. It's no surprise when the D elects to foul him, given his massive size.
And it'll be his 4th time going to the free throw line in the game.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as you'd like.
And some changes here for the Celtics. Atkins checked in, and Gordon Haywards is subbed in for Jason Tatum. And New York with a change here, too. Ntilikina, he's checked in for Butler. Here's Irving, and they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
Come on, that is remarkable work from Kyrie. Ridiculously crafty at how he gets into the defense and draws the foul.
The things Kyrie Irving can do with the basketball are just jaw-dropping. Doris, a gifted ball handler.
Well, he will go down as one of the best dribblers to ever play the game. Creative, consistent, quick with every move. He is fun to watch, Kev.
And straight isolation basketball, Doris, something we used to see a lot more of. But for a guy like James Harden or Steph Curry, that's still a very viable option.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you've got the likes of LeBron James or Kevin Durant or Chris Paul, guys who are able to create their own offense, to me, you want to take advantage of that skill set. It's about what your personnel strengths are. So can you surround a great creator with the shooters necessary? Because if you do, all of a sudden as a defense, there's a price to pay if you're going to help off, right? Because somewhere, some way, the best offensive talent is going to showcase its skill.
Here's Chapman, covered by Irving. Porzingis kicks to Cousins, and the shot is good. Cousins has got 4 this quarter.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
For Boston, they've gone 6 of 8 on field goal attempts in the third. A 75% clip. Now, here's Irving. He's got 18. A beautiful reverse layup. Irving's got 20 points.
You wonder what the defender who has to check Kyrie Irving on a nightly basis is thinking, because when he's dialed in, there's no checking him.
And a moment here to check out the stats for Hayward. How last month turned out for him. He's averaging 15 points a game, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And for any other player putting up those numbers, we'd say they were great, but for him,
gentlemen,
they're just simply run-of-the-mill.
Agreed. A lot of guys in this league would be very happy with that stat line, but this guy is the real deal. He is built for more.
And the first one at the line is good.
And after attempting no free throws in the first half, now he's putting the defense back on its heels.
The Celtics making a switch here. Horford's checked in. Knox, he's checked in for New York. Both free throws good from Chapman.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
For Boston, they've gone 7 of 9 from the field to start this second half. Some tremendous shooting from them. In the corner, it's Morse. Irving for 3. Knicks with the rebound.
And physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. A +10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know. And how sweet a play was that?
As sweet as it gets. An exquisite pass to set up the powerful alley-oop dunk. Atkins, guarded by Porzingis. It's not going to go for him. And New York the other way now. A 3. That shot, no good.
Boy, for a capable three-point shooter, that's one he expects to make.
Irving from long range. A three-pointer is right on target. Irving's got 11 points in the quarter.
And really, the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
Here's Chapman, covered by Irving. On deep. They grab their own miss. Here's Cousins. It falls for the 6th time in 7 tries this contest. That's 86%.
You got to love how Cousins uses his size, his reach. He's more prolific on the defensive glass, but obviously a factor on the offensive end as well.
And there's the foul. It'll go on the captain. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
Boy, plenty of time left in the clock. He needs to keep his poise. That's his 4th foul now.
The Knicks making a switch here. Turner's checked in. Here is Hayward. He's still scoreless so far in this one. To the middle. Here's Irving. Hayward trying to get open. And Irving hit the basket on the assist by Hayward.
Boy, as aggressive as he's been hitting all these shots, they're still behind.
Here's Chapman. Up and in on the layup. Chapman's got 12 points in just the second half.
Boy, this guy has been transcendent this quarter. Something really lit a fire underneath this guy.
Passes it to Irving. And blocked by Chapman. I'll take it. Fourth quarter now. We're about a minute and a half in. And Boston with the rebound. Adebayo's got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. Jaylen Brown out there with Hayward. Then there's Jason Tatum. And it's Justice in at the 4 spot. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. Hayward right side. The 3. The Knicks pull it in.
Yeah, and they've shown effort and aggression in the paint, really right from the tip. Their rebounding edge right now, massive.
Here's Chapman. Young outside. Lets it go with a 3. Hits the 3-point foul.
This is what the crowd comes to see. Young has that it factor.
Brown the pass to Justice. So often when a player changes teams, Doris, you see a lot of emotions from him, his teammates, from the fans, and coaches. Is it even reasonable to expect loyalty in sports nowadays?
You know, I think times have changed, Kevin. We're no longer living in an era where a player sticks with an organization throughout the course of his tenure, or at least that is the outlier nowadays. The reality is teams always make decisions with their long-term best interests at heart. And so when a player has earned the right to embrace his free agency, there's a reason it's termed free agency, then he should have an equal opportunity to the team to make the decisions that are in his best interest. Whatever those values and priorities for that individual player are, when you reach free agency, you've earned that right.
Outside Tatum. Hayward on the wing. Shot clock at 5. The Celtics need to get a shot off. A 3-pointer off the mark. New York's gotten just 1 of 4 3-pointers to go down for them here in the 4th. Uncovered. Chapman. That's good. Chapman's got 14 points now in the second half.
And I love the tenacity, guys. He simply can will his way into games at times and exert his presence.
Justice the pass to Brown. Hayward outside. Releases. And he connects with the jumper. Hayward's got 6 in the quarter. And here's Young. He'll bring it up for New York. They've given up just 8 points in the fourth quarter. Here's Chapman for 3. A rebound by the Celtics. Adebayo's got his 16th rebound on the night. That's going to be over and back, not watching for the line that time.
And becoming impatient, that's not how you're going to catch up.
Really, that's unacceptable. Patience is paramount when you're trying to cut the lead, and they didn't have it there.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Ellis is checked in for Adebayo. Marcus Morris comes in for Tatum. And Drew's subbed in for Gordon Hayward. And the Knicks making a change here as well. Cousins is checked in. Drops in the tray.
He's smart at using the screen there to just create space. Young, very reliable in that pick and roll.
Here's Drew, defended by Young. Ellis dishes to Brown. From down in the low post, it goes.
And Kevin, Jaylen Brown thrives when it comes to scoring through contact. This is a guy who is constantly looking to initiate that body contact with the defense.
And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
And his first personal foul, shooting for New York, DeMarcus Cousins. 2 shots.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Move shots.
And that one falls for DeMarcus Cousins. A lot of times late in the season, Doris, you see the expensive vets bought out of their contracts. Often they sign for a cheap price for a true contender. And that affects parity among postseason qualifiers.
No doubt about it, Kevin. It really brings into very sharp focus the value of a quality GM, because the rich can get richer, and it can tilt things toward the top teams. I don't mind it, Kevin. Part of the reason these players agree to a buyout in the first place is the opportunity to choose their next situation. It is within the rules, and therefore I have no problem with it.
I like it as well. And Trey Young gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Ellis with it. Celtics passing it around. Morris, no good. Young outside. Cousins trying to free himself up. Shots good from Young. Young's got 10 points in the quarter.
I'll tell you, this guy will not stop pouring it on. It doesn't matter what approach they've tried to use against him. He has had an answer for everything.
Here's Drew. Out to the right wing. Justice misses the 3.
Hey, we're not seeing the best quarter by this guy, and he's lost his feel a little bit.
Here's Chapman. Look at the state of the game. International League's getting better and better, Doris. There's no doubt about it. We see it at Olympic times and during FIBA play in between. We see a lot of NBA players who have spent time abroad. I think they come back better.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Kevin. I think wherever you can hone your craft and do it in a competitive environment where winning and losing is at stake on a nightly basis, it has so many opportunities for learning and growth. So, okay, I can't turn it over 5 times in a competitive environment, regardless of what league I'm playing in, because that's to the detriment of my team. If I'm lazy on the defensive end, I'm going to get exposed by good offensive players. To me, Kev, I love any time there's competitive basketball being played. I want to watch it.
Love that answer. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. That's on Jaylen Brown.
2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one. Al Horford's checked in for Ellis. Hardaway's checked in for New York. Frank Ntilikina comes in for Young. Both free throws good from Chapman. And no doubt Brad Stevens, one of the most respected young coaches in the NBA. Doris, he doesn't try to coach around foul trouble.
You know what I love about Brad Stevens is he's always trying to question the norm, meaning he doesn't want to do something simply because that's the way it's always been done. So just because a guy has 2 fouls doesn't mean he automatically takes them out. I like that kind of out-of-the-box thinking.
And the foul called on Tim Hardaway Jr. That's foul number 2 for him. Celtics making a switch here. Atkins checked in. Knox, he's checked in for New York. He swipes the ball away again. And that's his 6th steal of the night.
Imposing his will at the defensive end.
Well, guys, his scoring has been maybe the biggest factor in building this lead, and he's got plenty of energy left.
Well, the league is always looking for ways to adjust the rules, make them better. There's a committee that studies this every single year, and you know, with that in mind, Doris, any rules you think they should alter or tweak?
Yeah, there's absolutely one, Kevin, and I think this goes to the point where perhaps we can have some more uniformity in the FIBA ruled games that are played and the NBA. And there's one thing that's occurred in international play where players are becoming more athletic, and the opportunity for electric stuff to happen in transition is critical. To me, we have got to stop the intentional fouls, which are prohibiting fast breaks and all the potential for the explosive, exciting athleticism to be on display. So that, to me, is something we've got to address.
I'm with you. 3 on the clock. Here's Brown. Rebounded by Knox. New York's gone beyond the arc 7 times here in the 4th and been successful 3 times. Free ball there off the mark from Chapman. For Boston, they've gone through the 4th quarter shooting 50%, 7 of 14. Pass to Horford. Inside, Brown. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. Brown's got 4 this quarter.
Well, this is what they love seeing from Jaylen Brown, the aggressiveness down near the cup. This guy's attitude, tremendous.
Chapman, the pass to Ntilikina. High post Cousins. Count that as his 7th field goal in 9 tries. He's shooting 78%.
Seeing Cousins be this aggressive on offense, always active on this end, awesome when it comes to looking for his shot.
Morris against Hardaway. Ring shot on the way, and it's wide right. It's off the rim. Knicks have gone 8 of 16 from the field in the 4th, exactly 50%. Pass to Knox. Brown feeling it out a bit to the inside. Here's Chapman. Ntilikina passes to Chapman. Players going to great lengths to improve their performance and extending their prime years. We're seeing it all over the league. Doris, it amazes me.
I heard a number of LeBron James spending 7 figures a year.
Wow.
That's a 1 and 6 zeros to take care of his body.
No kidding.
Right, making an investment in your future. Understanding nutrition to training to recovery. Listen, you have a limited window, Kevin, to make money with your body if you're a professional athlete. So why you wouldn't want to extend that window as long as possible? You're playing a kid's game for fun, Kevin. Come on, let's lengthen it out if we can.
Brown outside. Just 5 on the clock. From deep 3-point range, Chapman with the rebound. Chapman's got 11 rebounds in the game. Here's Ntilikina. He's covered by Brown. Here's Chapman. And he makes good on the layup. Chapman's got 34 points.
Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it. Just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Knicks.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And so the hard work and effort paying off tonight, putting another win in the books. That'll be win number 27.
And against a conference opponent, always good to take that first win of the season series to establish a psychological edge.
The one player that really stands out, of course, in this one, it was a dazzling game for the captain.
Boy, I have loved this guy's energy all night. There was never a point in which he let up. The triple-double evidence of the kind of effort and skill he has.
.46 seconds left in the fourth quarter. High post Cousins. And again, another assist.
That makes 15 assists.
He's been one step ahead of the defense all game long. And the pass to Morris. Brown outside. 20 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Just 3 to shoot, and wrestling for it there, but no one has possession. We'll have a jump ball.
Jump ball.
And so it's New York with it. Here's Chapman. So no problem for New York as they get the win. A resounding victory for them. And Greg, in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And that about wraps it up. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, so my old coach used to talk about these sandwiches, and man, I feel like I could go for one of those right now, you know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you.
Hi, this is Shaq. I liked your Russell Westbrook impersonation tonight. When did you first realize that you were getting close to that triple-double?
Oh man, I think I still got a long ways to go before I reach that Westbrook level. But as far as getting close to it tonight, I didn't realize that was the case. You know, one of my teammates had to tell me it's a nice benchmark to reach, but it's just a side quest, man. Like our main quest is just getting wins, and I was definitely happy to be able to contribute to the team tonight.
Great job.
Thank you. Thanks, man. See ya.